What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mike, and I'm a part-time reseller on eBay and a part-time YouTuber on YouTube. All right, I want to welcome back all 368 of the subscribers. I think at the last video, we had just pushed over the 300 mark, if I recall right. We're almost to 400 already, which is insane. I now have a subscriber for every day of the year. I just would never be able to make a personal video for each one of you for each day of the year, unfortunately. I also want to thank any new people joining on in. Hope you enjoy my content. I'm really down to earth. I just kind of tell it how it is. I'm not very flashy. I'm very genuine. I just kind of tell you how I'm doing, what's working for me, what's not working for me, what I sell sometimes. But if you like what I'm doing here, feel free to subscribe, leave a comment, share. Be much appreciated. And let's go. All right, let's get into those numbers we always break down near the beginning. Currently sitting at 411 items listed. That's definitely lower than where it's been. I've been hovering around 425. But with the 2 store resets, it's hard to keep product in stock sometimes. And I've been selling a lot more than I've been listing. The last 7-day total that we are working with right now is over 1,000 again. We're at $1,025 for the last 7 days. And this year, we are now up to $21,495 in sales for the year since, well, technically January 14th when I had my first sale. And I'm just going to go over these numbers really quick because I think they're actually pretty impressive compared to what it's been. So total listing impressions for the last 31 days are up to 3,145,599. That is up 93.5%. My click-through rate with the amount of impressions that I'm getting is still very low, but does not bother me one bit. It's at 0.3%. That's actually up 0.1%. Not a big jump, but we'll take it. All right, total listing page views in the last 30 days, or 31 days, are 10,529. That is up 140%. Then we get to the sales conversion rate, which, again, I'm not concerned about this number because things are still selling at a good amount, and it's at 0.8%. All right. If you guys didn't see my last video, it was basically talking about promotions, promoted listings, and how that's kind of the key to success on eBay. And, you know, if any of you have heard or watched or listened to the eBay earnings report, you will realize that promoted listings are eBay's cash cow. They're literally milking our teats for money. And if you don't play the game, there's still a chance you're going to sell some stuff, but they are gearing up to that pay-to-play system even more. They're all in. They push their chips in, and they need more chips, so they're going to take them from us. Do you still need to promote on eBay to make any kind of sales? No, there's some people out there that are still having success. I've found my success from promoted listings early on. I've stuck with it. I still see a benefit of doing it. I still see a benefit of doing it on all my items too. I know there's people out there that will only do them on certain items, but I do them on everything. I want all eyes possible seeing all of my products. It's a little bit of a segue into today's video, which I'm just going to go over my results of my 2 store resets side by side with the 2% promoted listings and the 10% promoted listings. But before we get into that, I want to look at a couple of feedbacks I got, and one of them, unfortunately, I'm no longer a feedback virgin. I got a negative, and you're going to be kind of shocked why this person gave me a negative. And it may change how I look at my ban list going forward and who I block. This is actually a tale of two feedbacks. One brings me way up here. I'm super excited. This is why I love doing eBay. And then, boom, you get smacked across the face with a total BS negative feedback. Now, I knew this negative feedback would come eventually. Everyone gets one eventually, but I try very hard not to get one. This is definitely not a reason to give someone negative feedback, and I'll go into that. But first, let's focus on the positive. So I get a message one night from a lady on eBay, and she reaches out to me, and she's looking at a transformer I'm selling. Let me read the message she sent to me. It says, "Hello, I've had bad experiences on here and just thought I'd reach out. My son and I accidentally broke his other one. I have an extra wheel for it, and ours also did not have the back flaps that close. So it matches our other one perfectly." It's kind of sad that people have to reach out first to say that they've had bad experiences on eBay, but that kind of shows you the platform why it's very important to put customer service first, and that's definitely a way to get some repeat buyers, especially when you can wow them. So I responded back with, "I'm sorry to hear about those bad experiences. I always put my customers first. If you have any issues, please feel free to reach out. I'm excited you were able to find a replacement in my store. I'll make sure it is shipped with care. Thank you so much." And then they responded with, "Thank you so much. We look forward to leaving a review. I know my son will be thankful." And then when they received it, they sent me this message. "There was one happy little boy today and one thankful parent. 5 stars, 100% happy, and plan on writing reviews tonight. Thank you for the care in packaging the item." And, that really made my night when they sent that message. And let me read the review, what they left. Here's what they said. "Okay, I was scared and worried about ordering again off of eBay." They put it in quotation marks. "Finally, upon doing some digging, I checked the 100 positive feedback badge, and boom, this seller shows up. I reached out, sent them a message letting them know about my bad experiences. They told me how sorry they were and that their customer comes first. They weren't kidding. Hands down, best secured transaction and made it timely. Did I forget to mention how well this person packages the item? No way it was going to have damage when it arrived." So I get this feedback and I am like, man, I love doing this. And I just made someone's day, and, some kid out there that had his transformer broken, that could mean everything to him. And I'm super jacked. So then I'm going to bed. I wake up and I check my feedback, and literally brings me right back to reality about some of these people that unfortunately are on eBay. And we just have to deal with it, unfortunately, because we have no power as sellers when it comes to anything like this on eBay. And yes, you're going to ask, did you appeal the negative feedback? Yes, but eBay always responds back with, "We did not find anything wrong with our policies in the feedback, and it's important to have a transparent, open marketplace so people trust, blah, 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 blah." But they don't want openness and transparency from us. Because, if that was true, they would allow us to go right onto the seller's page and tell the truth about what they did or what they were like. But no, we have to put rainbows and unicorns in everyone's feedback. Only positivity around here, baby. Oh, this is one of those items that I sold on one of the resets, and I had a pesky little bugger trying to buy this thing. The problem is he kept lowballing me. So if you saw my other video, it took multiple times, and we finally sold it. It was the Pokemon Nintendo DS Fanny Pack. So this was one where they sent me a $5 offer, like $5 offer on a $45 item. Like, I'm willing to work with someone, but please don't start out with $5. And then I lowered slightly, and then they went up very slightly. And we did this actually, I think, through 2 or 3 store resets, and it just kept happening. Finally, I went down to 38. That's as low as I was going on my $45 item, and then they purchased it. Part of me thinks they purchased it on purpose, didn't want to pay whatever I sent them, but they really wanted to leave this review, and that's why they bought it. So let me tell you the review. Here we go. My first negative review on eBay. Difficult seller to negotiate with. Didn't take reasonable offers on an item that was already overpriced to begin with. Buy with caution. Like, what? Come on. Come on. Obviously, I did take a reasonable offer. You purchased the item. If I did not take a reasonable offer, we would not have a deal. You agreed to the price. If you don't like the negotiation process, if you don't like the price, if you don't like anything about it, walk away. I'm not forcing you to buy it, but you obviously wanted it very badly. And to say it's overpriced is ridiculous, because if you look at the market of it, I actually sold it for a couple dollars under market value. This is the same kind of stuff that frustrates me when people like give you a lower rating on your shipping. Like, they'll go through, they'll buy the product, they know exactly what the product costs and how much shipping costs, and then when they get that little review to fill out for eBay, they tank your shipping saying it's too expensive. Well, then don't buy it. You know, if you don't want to pay the price, don't buy it. I don't go on Target's website and buy something and have it shipped to my house and then write a bad review saying the shipping was ridiculous, I'm never buying from them again, or whatever. Then you just don't buy it then. But it is what it is. You know, it's one of those things you can't control. And if you're selling on eBay any length of time, you're going to get one, even if you do everything 100% right, because there's just people like that out there. To be honest, I think he was just mad he didn't get it for dirt cheap. I think he wanted it for $10 or under, and he reluctantly bought it because he wanted to give me a negative review. He swiftly made it to my ban list now, and unfortunately, going forward now, I think I'm going to start banning lowball offers just to protect myself from stuff like this. If I have an item for $50 and you send me an offer of $1 to $5, you're automatically just banned. I'm just not going to deal with this. It's unfortunate because I like going back and forth and coming up with some sort of deal, and some of those sales will probably go unsold then. But come on, man. $1, $5. Thank you, eBay, for your seller protections and our transparent marketplace. Anyways, I thought you enjoyed those two little feedbacks, the highs and the lows of eBay, and damn, I was on such a good tear of positive feedback. But the key is to still stay positive, even when everything's negative. All right, so let's get into the results of the resets. I'm not going to go over anything that sold, to be honest. There's just way too many items that sold. I'm just going to get into the meat and potatoes of the numbers. I'll let you look at it and tell you what I'm kind of working on now to see if there's any correlation to it. I'm going to put these on the screen somewhere, wherever I can fit them. Let me move back here so you can still see my head a little bit. So on November 1st, I had, right before November 1st, I took off all promoted listings, everything. We just ran organic to the clock, and then once the next day started, we started both of these at the same time. just so, and then ended it at the same time so we can get equal results. So the first test was a 2% promoted plus full store reset. Second test was a full store reset plus 10%. The first test went from November 1st through November 4th, and the second test went from November 5th through November. All right, so let's do some comparison of each day then. Here's the graphs. You can look at them. The 2% promoted reset, kind of very flat across the board. Of course, not with organic. Organic, you always have a massive bump that first day. The second day, about half of that, and then it tails off into about the norm that you get. Maybe it's slightly higher, but nothing else. It starts going down and down and down. So both of those are very similar. While the promoted impressions went up on the first reset, they just kind of flatlined. We never made it across like a certain plane. If you look at the second reset, we have the bump of organic listings, and then you head in and we kind of start raising up with promoted listings, and they start going up versus tailing off or just being flat. All right, so let's compare day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 with each other. All right, so day 1 of the 2% reset, total impressions 81,594. 67% of those were organic impressions, 32% of those were promoted. Only 26,000 of those were promoted. Then we go to page views, which is what really matters. It was only 461 total page views, which is a little bit lower than what I'm used to on these resets. We had 383 of them are organic, 18 external, and 60% of them are promoted. And if you look on total sold, we had 4 sales, 3 of those being organic because of such a low promotional rate. You're almost guaranteed to have either all your sales be organic or very few be promoted. Now you go over to the first day of the 10% reset. We have 113,000 total impressions. 42% of those are organic, and 57%, almost 58% of those are promoted. Then total page views, this is where, we get a big jump from the first day. 689 total. 311 were organic, only 9% external, and 369 promoted. So almost another 200 views versus the first day. So the extra promoting really helped. And as you see, we sold 6 items that day, all promoted, which is kind of what I expected. When you get the extra visibility from promotion, they almost always buy promoted for some reason. But the trade-off is if you don't promote while you do reset, you get less sales. So, all right, so day 2, you can see November 2nd, total impressions slightly up, but organic is way down. Same with views. Promoted's a little bit up compared to the first day, and organic's about half of what it was day 1. This is when I ran into the biggest problem, though. If you look, I only had 1 sale this entire day of this reset, the second day, and that was kind of frustrating. It didn't seem to be very active the second day. First day not bad, but second day it was dreadful. And that 1 sale was organic. And then you go to day 2 on the 10% sale, we're up to 116,000 impressions. Once again, a big drop in organic, a huge influx of promoted. And now we're down to 494 views, which was about the same as what we got on the first reset on day 1. So we're still up there with a good amount of views. Most of them are being promoted. 308 of them are promoted. 56 external, and 130 organic. And on that day, we had 2 sales, so only one better than the other store. But I can tell you what, the store felt a lot more alive that day. We had 1 organic sale, 1 promoted sale. And then we go to day 3 of the first reset. Still not getting a ton of promoted page views, even though the promoted listings are definitely up compared to organic. 78,000 total impressions. Only 23% of those are organic and 76 are promoted. You go to page views, we still have a good amount of organic though compared to promoted. We had 133 page views, organic, 51 external, and 73 promoted, leaving us with 3 sales that day, 2 organic again, and only 1 promoted. So then we get to day 3 of the 10% reset. We're now up to 134,000 total impressions. Only 12% of those are organic. 87% of them are promoted. And page views are still hanging in there really good. We're at 417. Most of them promoted, of course. 117 of them are organic. 35 are external. And 265 are promoted. The big surprise on this day, though, is we only had 1 sale, and it was a promoted sale. Don't understand the circumstances around it. I do remember I wasn't able to send a lot of offers that day. I started wondering if there was a website issue or a problem with eBay. But the next day definitely made up for it. And then we get into the final day of the reset. This is when my first reset, I was itching real hard to jump the gun and put it onto the second reset because my store was tanking. But we had still a good amount of impressions, 88,000. Organic was 22% and promoted was 77%. And then total page views was all the way down to 202. And organic was 131, external 12, and promoted 59. And you can see the big goose egg on that day, 0 sales. When you get to the last day on the second reset of the 10% promoted, and impressions are still shooting up. They're going through the roof. We are now at 159,000 impressions and rising. Organic's only 16%, and promoted is 83%. If you look at total page views, we're still hanging up there in the mid 300s, which is nice. 347. 114 of those were organic, 15 were external, and 218 of them were promoted. On this day, technically we sold 8, but they didn't pay till the next day. So I'm going to count it in this as part of the sale, though. So we had 8 sales. It ended up being 4 organic, believe it or not, on a 10% promoted listing, and 4 promoted. So from this little test I did, doing a store reset still helps your store. You still get major benefit from it, especially day 1. If I were to do a store reset again, I would do a store reset. I would leave promotions off at least day 1, maybe day 2. On the third day, I'd probably do a bulk edit and then drop that with a promotion on every one of my items. I personally do the dynamic rate with the cap set at 10.1. You can choose whatever you want. I think you'll have success with whatever you want. If you don't want to do promoted, that's fine too. But I do think there's a huge benefit of visibility using promoted, even on items that you're the only one on eBay. I still think there's a benefit of using promoted. In my mind, these are the numbers right here that speak for themselves. Reset number 1, 8 sales. Reset number 2, with the 10% promotion, 17 sales. Doubled up on my sales. Now, I was always someone normally that would promote at 5%. Going up to 10% is not a huge different in the scheme of things. It sucks, but if it keeps my store rolling the way it is, I mean, I can't complain. Even the next day after the reset was over, I had 6 more sales, and then today, unfortunately, it's a slow day today. 1 sale, 1 cancellation, also. This kind of goes back to my point. If you're going to promote, don't even bother with 2%. It just doesn't seem to be really worth your while. There's really not enough benefit from it. I would say start at a minimum 5.1% and go up from there, whatever you feel like, whatever you're comfortable with. I always do the 0.1% because there's going to be a lot of people out there that just do that even number of 5% or 10%, and I feel like the 0.1 gives you a slight advantage over some of those people. But what I'm kind of just testing now going forward is seeing some results of just doing kind of like a promoted reset where I stop all my promotions, let it run for like half a day or a day, then the next day just drop everything as a bulk edit on a full promoted store and just throw it out there. Because based on my first results of doing something like that, it was the best results I've ever had. I'm going to see what they end up looking like now. What I'm hoping we can do is have a mixture of store resetting and a mixture of promoted resetting and kind of alternate back and forth, especially for people that can't do constant store resets with listings, where there's just limitations with some people. Because for me too, I'm out of the ability to do a store reset anymore this month if I plan on listing anything at all for the most part. I think I have like 200 listings left, so while I could do a couple items, it would leave me pretty short-handed if I want to keep up heading into the fourth quarter. I'm going to wrap it up right there, though. I hope you guys like the information, the numbers. I'm just one guy, one set of results. Yours might be different. Mine seem to stay very consistent. The only thing that differs is the amount of impressions, the amount of views, the amount of sales, based on how I promote. That's the biggest difference. I'm someone that's been promoting for a long time. I'm not anti-promotion. I'm not, pro-promoted listings, but I definitely see a huge benefit in using promoted listings. And whether you like it or not, this is where eBay's headed, and it's still, if you think about it, even with the promoted listings, one of the most low-cost businesses you can start up right now and start, making cash flow. What I hope happens is eventually they figure out a different formula for promotion that doesn't rake their sellers over the coals, and it's a little bit more fair to us involved. But until that day, I and a lot of other people will start playing the game. I hope the people that are still having great luck without promoting continue to have that luck, because that will continue to show that there is actually great opportunities for people to not promote still out there. When those opportunities dry up and you get everyone saying, I don't have any sales unless I promote, then I think the platform's in a real lot of trouble. I'm not saying they're out of the water now, but once you hit a point where no one's getting a sale unless it's promoted, then we know we've hit DEFCON 5. You guys are awesome. If you are still listening to this and enjoy my content, please hit that bell notification. Hit every single little button you can find on that YouTube page. Like, share, subscribe, comment. That would be awesome. Leave below any kind of negative feedback stories you had about just some crazy negative feedback you might have gotten where you're like, this is so uncalled for. I'd love to hear some of the crazy stories out there. Or if you want to share some of the positive stories you got, how you might have changed someone's life even with your item you sold them. Also, let me know how your store resets are going. And tell me if you're trying anything new lately with the store reset or promotion or anything beyond that. I'm always interested in hearing what's going on. Also, if you guys want more detail on the store reset, if you're just joining into this video and you're like, what is this guy talking about? Check the description. I'll leave a link to Jeff's video, Hayfro Sells, him and Jack, who's known as JL Stanton 1968. They were responsible for doing a lot of the research into this, how a full store reset would do. And because of them, we now have this option, I feel, because they were the guinea pigs. Head on over to that video if you want some help with that store reset to get going on it. Let them know I sent you. And as always, until next time.
Go ahead. I say there's a place for us, but maybe it's just another pipe dream. Maybe I'm fooling myself again. Well, why don't you go and find out yourself? Send me a postcard. Go on, there's the door. You can do better. Let's see how far you get. No takers? Fine. We get one thing straight. You're staying. This isn't a democracy anymore.